Hi there guys, Sam here. You joined me for a MK8.5 Facelift Golf R. I've had this car for 4 days and yeah, I'm going to go for a full walk around of this car, share everything that I've learned about it in depth. And you know, is this potentially the best car in 2024? You know, I'm really keen to kind of share this with you. This actual particular car is the exact car that you might have seen on a recent Carwow video, a drag race with Yanni from Yanamize and Matt Watson as well. So I'm keen to kind of check out those kind of aspects. How a car that's sort of been, well, put to its test with drifting and like, yeah, well over 100 miles an hour on sort of drag races. How does it hold up in sort of like the real world? So yeah, let's go for this walk around of this stunning, really high spec Mark 8.5 Golf R. We'll go for a point of view, then we'll come back and have a good conclusion. But I'm super excited to kind of share this. And yeah, let's go through this. So as you can see, this car, yes, KY74 DFP, you might recognize it. This car in particular is in Lapis Blue and it looks absolutely stunning. I've driven this car quite a fair bit over the last couple of days. This is the Varmanor wheels, which is the optional thing. And as I was actually cleaning it, you can really see the intricacy. And I hope it comes up well for you guys on camera. These wheels, the lightweight options, are really stunning. And I actually genuinely noticed a difference between these actually when I was actually comparing them to the Estrals as well, which I've tried before. Blue brake calipers, large disc brakes, they're absolutely huge and massive. The R badge down the side. This car has the performance pack. And what that does is it gives you this huge rear wing. The light's just gone on us, but it's gonna come back to us soon. It gives you a top speed, or it gives you an extra speed of up to 168 miles an hour, which is pretty special. It gives you a special and a drift mode. You might have seen Matt sort of doing some drifting in this exact car. So I'm keen to see how the rear tyres have actually held up as well. This is on Bridgestone Potenzas. Yeah, just checking now. Yeah, they've probably had a little bit of scrubbing. I'm not too sure if Volkswagen have changed this as being a Volkswagen press car. With the Varmanor wheels, rear tinted windows. This has the panoramic roof, which I've left open here, and I've really enjoyed my time with that. Just looking up in the night sky, it looks stunning, even in these December wintry conditions. This car isn't, you can get this kind of black edition, but I actually really like this one because you get the silver sort of door mirrors, silver R badge. At the front as well, you get the R badge shown there and the VW badge, and actually giving this car a proper clean has really got me to know all the little bits and the aero around it, because there's so many parts that really do help out the car. It's been so well engineered, and just looking at the front, I mean, it's so beefed up. It's really cool. And yeah, just cleaning this, all gloss black, which is nice. I love the little like blue touches of the fins, the blue light bar, the way this sort of lights up at night as well. And there's plenty of content on my channel actually, and I'll leave in the description all those of like everything around these Mark 8.5 Golf R. If you like this car, well worth subscribing to my channel because I've spoken about this car so much. I have a Golf R myself. It's a Golf R type channel, put it that way. And I've got a great community of people. So yeah, feel free to subscribe and get involved and comment as well. And I'm keen to answer some of your questions as well, because yeah, off my previous video that you had about this car. So I'll share that as well in basically the film that you're watching now. You get the blue light bar across all the front. This is the EA AAA engine. It's the latest generation, 333 PS, 7-speed DSG, and it's got the Haldex 4Motion system with a bit more rear sort of fun, which I'm really intrigued to sort of share with you. R brake calipers in blue, which look great as well. And yeah, when I was sort of cleaning it as well, I noticed down here, you get like little aero cuts too, and they look really cool. Big way to sort of like, yeah, as the sun's coming out as well, you can see it a little bit better. The Matrix LED lights are fantastic. Just everything about it. I mean, like seriously, I'm so excited to share with you everything I've learned. To have this time, sort of to wake up and have this car on my drive, just parked up, looking out my window, I was just like, oh my God. And it was, you know, I've built up this car. This is like, I mean, I don't want to give everything away now, but there's so much to share. At the rear as well, looking great. This car doesn't have the Akrapovic exhaust, but I've really enjoyed these exhausts. Yeah, just the noise of it, which I'm keen to share with you more as well, particularly for a 2024 car. It's a 74 plate car with so much technology going into it. Down the side as part of like, you get like these little grooves as well. And again, cleaning it, you can really see the indents in them. It's not all just completely straightforward. The tinted windows too, that pan roof. Oh, it just looks absolutely stunning. The wing, really, really big and intricate as well. And again, really quite nice to clean because you've got to kind of get yourself in there and really work with this car. IQ headlights at the back. This is the updated facelift car as well. And this car has loads of options. And actually, I'm keen to share with you which options are potentially the best, because there are some, or certainly some that I would recommend. Like this car has dynamic chassis control, which I'm keen to talk to you about as well. It's got the Lapis blue paint. It has like area view for the camera. It also has, which something I really would recommend actually, which I will share during this video, which, yeah, you might not actually expect what I'm going to say. That's the main part. The quad exhaust pipes as well, and again, cleaning it, you get these sort of, also all in gloss black, the fins down it. It's a proper premium car, you know, it really does, yeah, it harks back to what I love about a Golf R. And, you know, I watched that Carwow drag race yesterday actually, and I was like, I couldn't believe I was just cruising around in this car, complete comfort and enjoying it. You know, it's one of the fastest hot hatches out there. You know, no hybrid assistance, no electric assistance. This is just pure petrol powered goodness. And boy, is it a great car. I could stand around talking about this car forever. And actually some of the points that I want to share with the Mark 8 generation, because I have a Mark 7 Golf R myself. The car's definitely a little bit longer, and that actually allows for a little bit more space, because I was cleaning here and I was like, oh, that panel's a lot bigger than my Mark 7. Width-wise, it feels about the same, but that's just something to notice as well, just for you guys. I think it looks stunning in Lapis blue. And this car from Volkswagen, I know that their team who clean their cars, and unfortunately they only do it for business use, but they proper ceramic coat these cars and clean them properly. I've then driven this car, I checked on the dash, I've done about 120 miles, but I've done a lot of different driving, motorway driving, sort of city driving, everything I could fit into this car, just sitting in it, playing with the infotainment, doing everything. And then I gave it my own little wash down the bottom, because it is sort of that wintry kind of day. Oh, I mean, just look at this. That badge lights up as well at night. And, you know, I live near some schools and kids will look at this. Loads of people were turning heads at this car. It's a showstopper of a car. It really, really is. And I feel like it inspires a generation. You know, it inspires me to work hard and to push myself when there's something like this out there. With the colour as well, that Lapis blue, it's signature for the Golf and for the Golf R. And boy, is it good. Oh man, I mean, there's so much I could share and talk about this car. And, well, yeah, well, that's exactly what you're going to get. You get keyless access as well, and you can get these leather seats, which I've heard people talk about. I think these are more in keeping with what an R is, because actually, as you can see in here with the pan roof as well, the blue stitching really does lighten up the car, and it feels, yeah, to me, more authentic to go for these. And this is the standard seat option. I found them really comfortable, bit of leather down the side. You get like an R little mat as well, which is nice. Down the side, nice touches. I've really, well, I mean, there's so much I have to share. So much I have to share. But we will step in, because I've been sort of like outside for a little bit, and just sort of stepping in. Now, I've sort of configured this car basically how I would want it to be set up. And a lot of people have kind of said to me, well, you know, Sam, the tech, the screen, it's a little bit too big. Is it for me? And, well, to be honest with you, the great thing about this is the customizability to make it set up for how you like it, how you want it to work for your day-to-day life. And that's exactly what I've done. I'm someone who, you know, I initially used this tech, and we'll start it up. Oh, the start up. I mean, I've got so much to share. Well, where should I start? So inside, I've loved the touch material, the gloss black bits. You've got sort of like cup holders, you've got space in there. And yeah, generally the car's been a good place. And the seats are actually a little bit wider than in my Mark 7. So for me, I'm quite slim. So perhaps I haven't even been as hugged as I have been in my Mark 7. But to be honest, I found it okay. And the driving position, the reach and rake of the wheel, and I have quite long legs and a short body. So I've actually probably found myself in a better driving position in this than I have done in my Mark 7. It feels like a driver's car. I mean, I can't believe there's so much cool stuff to say. You've got the paddles as well, which are extended only in the R. You get the haptic buttons, but I found the haptic buttons actually they've improved them in terms of the touch sensitivity to make it more easier to use on the move. And you know, I've spent plenty of time with this, and I found it okay actually. It can feel a little bit weird to get initially to get used to, but once you do, and I've used like the cruise control, it's got some automatic stuff where it self steers and self lanes, which actually I was just like, wow, I can just sit back. And then when you want to have some fun on some fun roads, which you will do for the point of view, it's something sensational. It really, really is. I kind of want to. Shall I show you into the back quickly? In the back, actually, yeah, because I'll get that side out the way, because it is a practical car. That's the thing. It's a car which you can essentially use with your family. You can use this car. You can get it in a state form as well, but I'd stick with the hatch personally. And you can get it without the wing as well if you don't want that too big. In the boot, you've got plenty of space. You've got my filming bag here. You've got a ski hatch as well, and you can actually fold that down to actually even get more space in the back. I would quite like personally like a button to actually lower it, and I will share my positives and negatives about this car as well as we go through to the video, so you'll get that all. The tinted rear windows are proper tinted, so when you sit in here, it's really safe. Now I have my seat quite far back, right? And as you can see, it's quite dark in here. It's nice coloured seats. These light up as well, so it's quite cool for temperature controls. You get the little blue stitching on the mats, nice touches too. One of my subscribers asked me in their Mark 8.5, can you lower the windows from the key? I checked, you can. What it does is it lowers the front two windows and it lowers the rear windows a little bit. And then if you hold down the lock button, it'll lock it back up. So that's just for that person too. Yeah, you can see with the pan roof, you get a little bit more light back here. The seats are quite big and bulky, but I actually find them really comfortable back here. Like you could really do proper long journeys. And that dynamic chassis control, oh my God, does it work so well. It's like, it's something else. It almost doesn't feel real because you can go from so firm and actually really uncomfortable, particularly on these 19-inch wheels. I mean, they're proper wheels, these ones, with the Potenzas, 235 section R19s. And oh yeah, the brakes. Oh, the brakes. There's so much good about this car. And it just looks so stunning. I mean, I can only hope that it comes up well on camera because it's just something else. It's just something else. I mean, just look at it there. Look at it. It's so cool. And yeah, you can have something called an emotive start. So if you hold the start-stop button and press the brake in special mode, it revs up really highly. It can sit on idle higher in special mode, which is so cool. So you can get more instant response out of the engine. The gear shifts feel really, I've got so much to share with the R badge. I mean, it's so nice around here. I really want to kind of focus on that walk around because we've had such interesting weather. But with the 4Motion, you can go out of this all the time. It is always good. That's the thing. It's not like it's a car which, you have to wait for that special occasion. Take this out in the rain, take this out in the mud. It will do it. And it holds, I mean, it is capable. It's one of the fastest cars that I've probably ever kind of experienced on the road, with that sort of seamlessness in terms of not being able to, you can't even tell how fast you're going sometimes, particularly for a hatch, while still actually being economical as well, which I just can't believe. This particular car, the press car's done about 2,400 miles. So, it's still early days with the car. And yeah, shall we talk a little bit about the inside too? You've got those new haptic buttons, which I feel is important to share. And what I will do as well, actually, I'll shut the panoramic roof, which is sad because the pan roof looks so good. You can see my face getting a little bit of sun. But yeah, if you push the start-stop button and then push the brake, it will rev a little bit more. You might have just heard that. But if we'll shut that pan roof, which will shut like so, and as we're doing that, I'll just tell you how I have this set up. Basically, I have this set up, and you actually got a manual blind as well to shut that, which I personally felt looked a bit cheap. That was just my initial kind of feelings about it, but I've kind of got used to it, and I had the pan roof open most of the time anyway. I have the screen set like this. This is how I have it in my Golf R. I have that off with just the clock, and I have this. You can customize them to exactly how you want by using these buttons. And if you press the view, it will change through it. Now you can have that mode. you can have this mode, you can have the sat nav on the back, and you can customize each section to how you like. Now I've had it in this mode, and I absolutely love this mode because I've got the power and the torque on the side and the speed. And you can actually then just change that to what you want. So you can have the torque distribution, which looks really, really cool, and it will show each wheel. You've got like the operating temperatures, which is really handy if you want to go for a fun drive. You've got that set up. I'm a person who's less is more, basically. And yeah, you've got lap timers, you've got all sorts of, so many customizational abilities. But I like it simple. You know, I don't want the complication, and that's where this works for me. And the thing is, you can actually change it on the right so that you can have it, so you've got G meter, but you can have it so you can have the navigation up. So you don't need the navigation on this big screen. Because for me, it was just a bit too big and it was a bit too bright. I have since worked out how to turn down the brightness, and it does work fine, but it's just a bit too much imposing. I'm quite a hypersensitive person. So yeah, to have that sort of in just clock mode, which you can set by just holding down the power button, but you still get all the access to the things that you want. All your little widgets there, your assists, you can turn off lane keeping and speed warning quite quickly. You've got your modes, which you can even access by pressing mode, or you can press the R button there. You've got comfort, eco, sport, race mode, which then leads you into special mode, individual mode. You've got all the customization that you ever want. And I've been going from special to comfort, which comfort relaxes the DCT. Special is also on a more comfortable DCC, dynamic chassis control, which affects the suspension, makes it lower, makes it more comfortable. And then the race mode, it's in its firmest ones, which I have spent time driving around in it as well. And I'm keen to share with you exactly what that is like on the point of view, which we will go on. Wow, there's so much to say. Yeah, the 7-speed DSG, it's all been nice in here. Yeah, there's just so much heated seats. You've got the climate controls. I've driven this car at night. These buttons light up now. This feels really good, and the self-steer and stuff is really, really cool. And the stuff that's familiar to me, which I like, is like the Mark 7 style indicators. Some are just the buttons like here, where you can sort of like defog the mirrors. All just normal car stuff. And that's what I like about it. And then I just go back to clock mode. But if you don't want to be in clock mode, you can then be in sort of the mode where it gives you everything. I've been checking out the data. So since refueling, which is how long I've had the car, 116 miles, 25 mpg at the moment, 205 miles to go. But this, I've been having a little bit of fun in this car, so I think I could get better than that if I wanted to. And yeah, you've then got sort of like, I mean, the main probably part is generally going to be the navigation. That's what it normally sets up on. And that's, I mean, I just felt it was just a little bit too much for me. But that's the great thing. You can then set it, you've got ESC you can turn off and all of that kind of stuff. You can set it to how you want, and I just wanted it off. You know, I just wanted the clock there, and that was kind of all I needed. You know, I didn't feel like I needed anything else. And I'm interested to share with you, because I've got it, I think I've got it in special mode at the moment, haven't I? No, I've got it in, if I put it in special mode, it will rev higher. It will sit at about 1300 RPM. Might have just heard the exhaust note change. And that really adds to the responsiveness. It's super, super cool actually on that front. So that's just my initial kind of talking around this Golf R, which I absolutely love so much. I just really want to get it in shot for you guys. We'll go for that point of view. And there's the rear lights as well. They all light up and they do like a little dance too, which is really, really nice. Really, really cool. I haven't worked out my best angle yet of the car. I think there's so many decent sort of looks of it. And yeah, maybe the rear quarter, but then I really like the front as well. I mean, look at those lights and look at the wing. It's so, so special. I can't wait to share with you the point of view, because you'll get a good impression of what this car is like on sort of normal roads, and then the fun road, the different sort of suspension settings as well. And we'll go through all of that. Once after the point of view, we'll come back, we'll have a proper conclusion. I'll share with you everything that I've kind of learned about this car. A car that can go drifting around a racetrack, drag racing cars, and then be going to Sainsbury's for shopping. I'm lost for words, and I'm going to reflect a little bit more, go on this point of view drive, share it with you, reflect further, then we'll have a bit of a conclusion. And this is a community channel, so get involved in the comments. And even when the video's done, I'm going to drive this car for a little bit more. So there's going to be more to kind of, yeah, for me to kind of potentially comment back to you and help out. But yeah, let's go for that point of view drive and let's take things from there of this fantastic Mark 8.5 Golf R. So much to share, so much to share. Both positives and negatives. I'll go through everything. So yeah, don't worry. Let's go for that point of view. So it is point of view time in the Golf R. Yeah, I'm so excited just to share this with you and yeah, just everything about it. But yeah, I've got it set up as I kind of described with kind of the display, and we'll go for a little drive. And yeah, I'm excited to share it with you, just on some sort of like a few bumpy bits of road, and then a bit of a fun road. Yeah, we'll do this point of view and then we'll kind of come back from it. So yeah, 7-speed DSG, so we'll stick it into drive. As I mentioned, I've got this car in special mode because that's kind of what I like, but I suppose just for the purposes initially, we'll do it in comfort. And you can see how the revs just drop a little bit. Again, I hope it all comes up okay for you guys on camera. And that's how I kind of like to display. This is just subjective to me, how I would set this car up. The steering wheel nice and close, seat pretty low, which is really well adjustable actually as well. Yeah, the display just sort of like black with the clock, and you can actually interchange between which different clock as well, which I like. The assists are off as well, and the modes obviously between, you can change between that. But yeah, let's make a move. So yeah, auto hold handbrake, so it's pretty simple. Yeah, in comfort mode, it's obviously very comfy for me. This is on the 19-inch wheels, the Varmanor wheels, and I've sort of been thinking, dynamic chassis control, do you need it? Yeah, I think it's an option you should go for. Although personally for me, I actually like the idea of the 18-inch wheels, the stock Golf R, and with that you could probably get away without DCC, probably, but it's very subjective. The 18s with DCC is possibly the spec I'd go for, just from a day-to-day kind of perspective. You know, I love the looks and I love the colour of the Golf R, but turning 35 next year in 2025, can't believe it's coming around the corner. Yeah, I'm probably a little bit more of a subtle, want to be a little bit more incognito, which I feel is like encompassing with the Golf R. That said, the inner child in me loves the performance pack, loves the look of this car, and it's great. Just for the purposes of you guys, I'll change between the views just in the front, so you've got the kind of different bars you can go between. And I think that's the thing for me, a lot of the technology here is very difficult to use on the move if you overcomplicate it. So I keep it very simple so that I know what I'm going to do. If I want to turn down the heater, if I want to turn on the heated seats, you know, if I want to do the basics, I know what I need to do for it. You know, turn off the assists, stick it in manual mode and have a little play. I've got my power, I've got my Newton meters of torque. And this car, I haven't even talked about the performance yet. It shoves. It's got so much low down grunt. And one of the questions as well from my comments was, how does the gear shifts feel? They're very, very seamless, very seamless. They do have a tiny bit of a kick and they do make a nice little bit of a noise, but don't expect some sort of like huge race car type feel. And actually saying that, in special mode and in race mode, you get a much firmer throttle response. And I found, certainly in slow moving traffic, it's a bit, you know, a bit uncomfortable. It's a bit jerky. It goes sort of, it's almost a bit too responsive, more for a back road. Whereas at the moment I've got it in comfort mode. The throttle response, you push it down, it's a lot slower and smoother. You can see it's a lot smoother on the gear changes. It's obviously revving less at idle as well. So it has that huge split personality, which I love. That's what I love about a Golf R. We've got the sun sort of coming out today, but it's, you know, it's December, it's cold and it's sunny. This car can just perform on everything. You know, I've driven it in the rain, I've driven it in the sun, and it just works so well. I mean, I genuinely, I mean, you're probably getting to, you know what my conclusion is going to be, how unbelievable I love this car. Look at this, we're just pootling around. But with the miles I've spent on it, you know, it's really kind of just taken me back, really. I just can't even believe it. Just, for me, it's the perfect car, really. And I can't believe they're making this car, given all the legislation, everything, that all the restrictions that come into place. And the community around the R is great as well, and that's a lot about my channel with owners sort of collecting them. And if you are getting one, you have reached out to me, yeah, keep reaching out, you know, it's great. I'd love to meet up with you guys. I'd love to share the car as much as I can. I'm certainly keen to try a car with 18-inch wheels. This being a press car, they only have the one on 19-inch. They also have a black edition, which I want to get a hold of again. There's so many. And funny enough, when I picked this car up, as I just knock it into special mode, you can see I did it quite easily on the move. You know, it's easy to do for that side. There was a Kalami green 74 plate Audi RS3, and I'll just use the manual buttons so that it doesn't rev so high at the moment, stick it into fourth. And I was like, oh, that would be cool to try. And don't get me wrong, it would be cool to try, and I will try my best. If you like the video, it'll probably give me a better chance. We'll overtake this bus. But you see what I mean? How it just went off there. It's a little bit like, oh, a bit too jerky for my liking in race mode and special mode. Once you're flowing, which hopefully we'll do on the national speed limit roads, I found it so capable. In auto, it's super quick, like almost ridiculously quick. You turn the wheel and it just grips from the back like nothing. It's unbelievable. In manual mode, you feel that engagement and you can't always catch the gear because your hand sort of turned and everything. Going onto the wheel, I love it. I really enjoy it. I think it's sort of like that shape which fits well for me and my liking. And I mean, the quality of the actual touch, I think it could be a little bit better. I mean, I own as I mentioned, a Mark 7 Golf R, as we go past the leaf cutter. It's a little bit more leathery and a little bit more premium. And yeah, perhaps if you after that kind of look, I'd say the Audi S3, which you may have also seen on the drag race as well, just to kind of mention. But there's so much which is so cool. And I mentioned about the options as well. This has obviously got the panoramic roof, which is letting a little bit more light in now. The blue seats actually kind of lighten things up too. And yeah, the whole car kind of just like, yeah, it's nice and airy actually. And once you have the screen kind of off, which is what I prefer, it just makes it a little bit more simpler. This doesn't have the Harman Kardon sound system, but I've found the music to be fine. No sort of problems in that. The seats, as I mentioned, have felt good, but you can go for the leather option if you want to. I believe they're cooled as well. You can also get the Akrapovic exhaust, but this car makes a decent noise. As long as you're sort of just around 3,000 RPM and you lift off, you'll get a little bit of a burble, and every now and then, it's quite unpredictable, you will get a crack. And I find that like really kind of entertaining to try and find that sweet spot. And obviously with the roof open, you can look up at the sky and you can hear the car a bit more, and it's real noise as well. It does generally sound great on the outside too. So yeah, it's just got what I would lead, and it can do everything, you know, 5 doors, practical, spacious in the back, you know, enough for a lot of things. Not so wide, so I'm not sort of like completely stressing out in this car, you know, on sort of tight roads. It's just so good. And yeah, trust me, once we get to these funner roads, it's going to be great. And actually, while the bumps are pretty bad, what I'll do for you guys is I'll stick it into race mode, because I think that's important to see well, you might notice it on the suspension. I can pretty much show you it straight away. Look at that. It goes a lot firmer in race mode. And I found in the corners it certainly made things better actually in race mode. It just made it more stable. But on these bumpy British roads, which we're on in the UK, it's a little bit too firm. And because of that, I imagine the car without dynamic chassis control, bear in mind dynamic chassis control, you can literally change everything in these for the suspension wise. So many settings, I believe it's like 15 settings you can choose between. I think on passive it may be too firm, but then I'll have to see it once it comes to, as we get overtaken by a car, as I'm in a 30 doing 30. The S-Max has got me in my Golf R. So for me, it wasn't a mode I particularly wanted to stay in unless I'm in sort of like a really smooth track, which actually, when it was really smooth and not bumpy, it was better than special mode. So it's so many little options and so much fun things to explore in your ownership of your car, should you get one, or should you want to know what it's like. But we're coming up to the fun roads. I should say special mode also limits the traction control, and yeah, there is a bad point about this car, which I'm going to explain as we hit the natural speed limit road. And I'll knock it down a gear. I'll knock it down another gear perhaps, try and get some pops. Slow it down, knock it down another gear. And you put your foot down. And there you go. I mean, that is so fun. And you get like a yellow and green dash. And it sounds fantastic. And I bet it won't take us too long to catch up that S-Max, although he's gone. And it has some play in it. It doesn't feel like understeery. And this is on the road, not on a racetrack. You know, you're not going to be on a racetrack in this car likely. And in manual mode, I love it. But auto mode is great if you really want that capability of obviously going faster. It knows kind of quite well, and you feel really engaged. And I mean, on these roads, and it's all within the limit, it can suddenly come alive, and it's just so capable. And the undulation in special mode with that dynamic chassis control makes a good noise. I will say the wider tyres add to a little bit more grip, but you do get more road noise as a result. I hope you can hear me all okay. The brakes are something else as well. And I love how I've set it up with the torque and the speed sort of shown. And one thing that I noticed that on the Carwow video, Matt Watson said, he said in any mode it will always upshift, which is incorrect, because in special mode this car will bounce off the limiter. And yeah, so that's just something to even more add to the engagement. It's brilliant. And the brakes are just like, I mean, you can stamp on them and they're so strong. And look, there's that S-Max that overtook us as we hit the 40, but don't worry, we'll be back on that road in a second. And yeah, oh, it's a special road to kind of try. We got a bit of a tunnel. I mean, I don't know if you're going to hear the noise as much as I can, but it is making real little burbles, and that's really, really nice and special. But you can do the whole thing under a tunnel. You get the burbles and the cracks. The one thing, this car's turning circle, it's not so great. It takes a bit of a long time to kind of turn around in the road, and that's just because of that more direct steering. You'd have to compromise on certain aspects. If you get more direct steering and the steering rack slightly, you know, sharper, it means that doing sort of like 3-point turns or just a turn in the side street or something, it takes a while, as you've hopefully just seen from the clip that I've shown. It's a little bit awkward, but yeah, look, here we go. Natural speed limit again. I'll knock it into first. No launch control for me, just off normally in special, and then we'll go. And it's power you can enjoy. 333 horsepower, it puts it all down, but you can enjoy it on the road without breaking the speed limit. And that's just brilliant. And you're just twisting and turning, and it just works. And in manual mode it just does it, and you get the green light. It's got kind of like a Hyundai i30N vibe to it in the way it kind of does things. Apologies for the sun if it's affecting you. I just hope this comes out okay. It's amazing. I just love it. I'd love the kilowatts to kind of be in brake horsepower, but still you get an idea of just it all. And the torque, the way it pulls, and the way it's on this road, it's so fun. I just love it. I love it. And I love how you can be on this kind of road and then you can just be pootling around in the city, and it's just fantastic. It's just got it all. I do genuinely believe the lightweight Varminor wheels help with the front end as well, because it's unsprung weight. That's really important in a car, particularly when you're having fun. And they feel really premium as well. When I was washing this car, you know, I hand wash every car I've ever had. I've never taken it to a car wash. And I was washing it and I could feel the intricacies. I'm still smiling, laughing so much. And the detail in those wheels. And if you option that with the performance pack, it actually works out as better value as well, as I saw on the configurator. You get the Esterals 19-inch. You can get them in silver and black,
with the performance pack. But if you option the Varminor wheels, you actually get a little bit of a, I believe you save a bit of money. Check it out on the configurator. But I would be pushing for the Varminor wheels if you go for the performance pack in this car. There's so much I could share with you. It's just literally endless. And that's the great thing about it, because if you're going to have a car for a long time, for a few years, you're going to want to learn loads of stuff. You know, I've had this for 4 days and I've probably got about I could sit and talk to you guys for about 12 hours about everything about this car. And yeah, get involved in the comments if there's ever other things you want to know, because even when this film finishes, I have got a bit more time with the car before it has to go back at 4 o'clock. It's 11:45 now. So I've got a little bit more time to kind of play around with the car and enjoy it. I don't know what else you'd really want to know. It's quite cool with the self-steer, which again kind of adds to it. You've got like this cruise control, and it will sort of turn the wheel and it will work really well, which is pretty cool, if a little bit disconcerting at times too. So you get everything that you'd normally get in a Golf R, with the extra punch. This is the top of the range best Golf you can get. Basically you can get a black edition, but that adds black styling. It's all personal preference. You know, I've driven that car on the channel. That's on a video I'll show up there. Oh, it's just so amazing. I just love it. I just love it so much. It's making me smile, and it makes me encouraged that these cars still have a purpose. They really do, because hey, 1 million people have watched that Carwow video with the new Golf R. It's been out a day. So manufacturers, listen, people love petrol powered cars. All those cars that were drag raced were all petrol powered hot hatches. Funnily enough, that's what people like to drive and use, and that's why I love to share this kind of video. Again, apologies for the sun, and I feel I'm going to spend a bit more time with this car, actually. Spend a bit more time driving it, and I will give you a bit of a conclusion on my 4 days and any little extra parts that I kind of had that I wanted to share with you. And yeah, amazing. You can see that's the one thing actually as well, those bumps literally jerked my memory to remind me. Despite the chassis, the dynamic chassis control, it's still on 19-inch low profile wheels. When you hit a pothole or something, you feel it. The car feels it. Don't expect like a limo ride. For me, this is fine. This is more than comfortable enough for my kind of tolerance. I'll pop this down for a second just for my eyes. But for you, it might be too firm. I recommend a test drive and just checking it out, or potentially even considering the 18-inch wheels, because that might make things better. And obviously you get reduced road noise as well on the motorway, if you like that. Okay, let me gather my thoughts a little bit more. We'll go for a bit of a conclusion for this film, and yeah, a bit of a summary on this wonderfully high spec Mark 8.5 facelift Golf R. I am literally just, it's so good, so good. So something I would like to share with you, just a little bit of the tech as we've kind of parked up here, is the parking assist is really, really cool actually. You've got again, the cameras are pretty cool. You can go through it, it matches it up really, really nicely. This is kind of part of the area view, and you can kind of choose between that, and that's kind of like a nice little feature to have. There's so many settings and so many things you can do in here. You've got like IDA, you can talk to it, which is probably the best thing to do, to be fair. You've got like apps to go through, you've got the vehicle, you've got just so much, and I quite like just knowing the information a little bit about the car. I like how comes up with a Golf R there too, the refueling, the long term, the status, oil level. You can tweak between a few things, and the vehicle itself, all the lighting is really, really cool actually around it, which yeah, I really, really love, because it changes the ambience in the car. And that's quite cool, and that can be done by the background lighting. You can change it to like eternity or euphoria or vitality. I quite like the desire, and that changes the front of the dash as well, so you can have it in yellow, which I think is quite nice. It kind of changes the vibe and the tonality of the car completely. Or you can have it in red if you want to, which looks a little bit more GTI like, or orange as well. I mean, it's got so many cool little things that you'd never think which were actually really, really special. And what I was saying about one of the options, which I think is really, really important actually, which I've got in my pocket, I've actually got an R branded hoodie actually, which I really, really like. Official Volkswagen stuff, this. So yeah, I enjoyed that. this is probably the most important option. Now you might be thinking, oh Sam, you're just showing me a key here. Well, the key does look very, very nice actually. You've got a little R badge, as you can kind of see there. This is a tracker, so it's a Vodafone tracker which they use. You can get it as an option. It's a no-brainer for me in a car like this, and well, potentially bring on some of the negatives of the car. This car specified is about £49,600. It's a premium car and it looks the business and it is fantastic. Unfortunately, that may lead to people wanting to steal it. That's the sad stuff. I would go for a tracker. I'm not a big fan of disc locks and all this kind of stuff. I think get the tracker. This being a latest car, it's had a lot of like the cybersecurity updates and things to be actually more safe on the security front of things, because I know that there's been more legislation in there. I think that's a positive, but this is an option I would go for. This car obviously has the dynamic chassis control. It has the Lapis Blue metallic paint, which comes as an option. Yeah, I mentioned the area view as well. The dynamic chassis control is an option. The Varminor wheels, the performance pack with the spoiler. So it's got a lot of options to it. And actually for me, one of the main important ones is something you'd never really think about, is to go for this. But yeah, let's one last walk around really. I've got the car for a couple more hours, being this is my Monday, so I picked the car up on Friday. So yeah, don't forget to get involved in the comments, because I'll have more to share with the mileage I've done it. I just love it. I just love it. I'm lost for words on what more I can kind of say about the car, and I'm kind of a little bit emotional as well, because it's like, you know, it's all down to you guys who subscribe to the channel, and for Volkswagen for giving the opportunity to lend me this press car. You know, how cool is this, that like Yanni and Matt were sitting in here just like not that long ago, like a week ago. Really, really special. But yeah, let me compose myself a little bit, and yeah, last little walk around of the car. And I'm sorry if I've missed anything as well, because I mean, there's so much to share. It's a brilliant car. It really, really is. Let's have that last walk around.
So Lapis Blue paint, just sort of looking down the side of it as well with those Varminor wheels, you can really see sort of like the sort of the way that they're kind of designed, and they're really, really special. I don't know if you get a better look from it back here as well, but the design of them is really, really special. And with the blue calipers, I think it works really well with the car and the paint, and it comes up just so special. With the panoramic roof, with that wing, with the exhausts, I think you know what I'm going to say. It's the best car in 2024, best car I've driven this year. I've driven a lot of cars, and this is just the best one. If you're getting one, it's just fantastic. Options are great. It's all subjective what you want. I think just getting the car base is actually pretty cool as well. You know, you don't have to go to town on the options. That's the thing. Get it in Lapis Blue, get it with that kind of look. You're still getting that 333 brake horsepower engine, 2-litre EA888. That's the key stuff. You will get that from a base car. You will get that with the 18-inch wheels, which perhaps help the ride. Get the dynamic chassis control, I would say, if you can. There's no real creaks and rattles really in the car, considering how this car's been through its paces hard. It's just been wonderful. It's just been wonderful. Oh, I just love it.
So bonus footage, this is now literally it. I'm at Volkswagen sort of press HQ where they've got all the deliveries of their cars. And a few little things to add. The reversing camera is really cool because the badge sort of shuts so it doesn't get dirty. Nav wise, so you see what I mean, how it could be quite a little bit overwhelming with the nav and that. For me it was, but you can literally just have that off and that on, and what it does, it also has the route guidance shown there, and it does some really cool clever stuff, but with the navigation, which is a positive. These buttons, they feel really good to press. I think they look really futuristic. They look sort of 2024. Obviously we're heading into 2025, so that's really, really cool. I love how you can just put it into manual mode really easy, and then you can just put it into automatic by holding the right paddle. There is probably a million more things that I want to say about this car, but yeah, I'm kind of out. I'm out of time. It is going back. Oh, what a shame. But how many miles have I done? Let's have a little look onto the navigation. Yeah, you can check it out just through vehicle. And if you go to data, so since refueling, so I've done 170 miles and average 26.3 mpg. So that's where we're at on that, and a lot of that has been so many mixed driving, so I'm keen to share you even more about the car. I'm sad to be giving it back, but what a way to end the year. What a way. And what a cool car. And you know what, it drives fantastically. I mean, that's why I love these kind of cars. For me, it is the car of the year. It's the car for me all day long. This is my dream spec with the Varminor wheels, the panoramic roof and everything. She's got everything going on. And that rear, I mean, a normal Volkswagen Golf, which can compete with a Porsche, is fantastic. I just love it. Get your family in, you can enjoy it. It's super, super special. I love it, love it, love it. And I hope you've enjoyed this review. And yeah, thank you so much. And if you want to know anything else more that I've probably forgotten during my time over the 4 days of having this car, because I'll have some more reflections, get involved in the comments. This is a community channel. You know, I want to be here for you guys as well, and I'll always be there. Certainly for you if you're collecting a car or thinking about a car. And again, a bit about the negative of perhaps the price is quite high when it's fully spec'd. All cars are kind of like that now. You get a huge amount for your money. That's the truth. You get a fully practical car that can do so much and offer so much. And actually, maybe the sweet spot is the base spec Golf R on the 18-inch wheels with no options, or maybe just DCC, and you've got it. Amazing, just amazing. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, oh really, literally at the end now, I have to give it back. I held on as long as I could. Oh, just so relaxed and complete. What a car. What a car. Loved it. Just loved it. There is a Golf R for everyone at every kind of price point. My car's probably worth between 10 and 15,000 pounds. You can get 7.5 facelifts for about 20 to 25,000 pounds. You can get Mark 8 Golf Rs between 25 and sort of 35,000 pounds. Really 30,000 pounds if you want to get a good one. And obviously the 8.5 currently, even if you've got a base spec one, you're looking at just under sort of 45,000. So yeah, Golf R for everyone. And yeah, for those who stayed right to the end, you get that little nugget of information. And also actually on the drive, the Mark 7s feel a lot more planted. Even with traction off, you don't really sort of lose out on the rear. But I tell you what, on that Mark 8 Golf R, it will float around all over the place. It kind of felt a bit disorientated, but it kind of used all the electronics to sort itself out. Mega capable, mega quick, almost too quick. I prefer the connection side of things as well. So yeah, lots to think about. But yeah, just off my 30-minute drive back in this Mark 7 Golf R, I'm happy to be here, despite the fact how great that 8.5 is, and happy to see it in 2024. And yeah, thanks for watching and staying right to the end.
Get involved in the comments, subscribe. I've got plenty of content on this Golf R on my channel, on everything around the facelift Golf R. There's going to be more Golf R stuff to come.